Alright, welcome back to Terrible at Fishing. Well, today we're going to talk about trout. And we're going to talk about a simple rig on how to catch trout with power bait or with a dough bait. You know, it could be power bait, it could be potski, could be any of these dough baits, or you can make your own dough bait. There's several recipes on the net. The trick is that dough bait needs to float, and dough bait that you buy in the stores does. So we're going to use a madbite kit. And the madbite kit is the freshwater terminal kit right here. So this kit has pretty much everything you need in order to set a very simple rig for many fishes, but today we're going to talk about trout. So in this kit we're going to need a couple things out of it. One, we're going to need a hook with a leader on it. So in here we do have a nice sharp treble hook with leaders on it. So we're going to take one of these. I added a few more things to that cute little kit because, you know, it's awesome. So it's just got a little twisty on it, which, you know, I have to undo. There it is. Okay. There's twisty. Twisty's off. Twisty's off. So we want one of these hooks. It's already got a loop on it. So we just want to pull one of these out. And voila. We've got one. So we take that. And we're going to need a swivel. A snap swivel. So we're going to grab a snap swivel. So just a little snap swivel. Next, we're going to need a torpedo weight or a bullet weight or whatever you want to call these. This right here. Basically what we're going to make is a Carolina rig. So if you don't know what a Carolina rig is, you'll see a Carolina rig right now. Now I always like to add a bead too. So we're going to take a bead. Just a bead. There's a bead. And we're going to do a bead. And this is our ingredient. Don't let it roll off the table. Because if you let it roll off the table, it goes into purgatory. Which you'll never find. So what you got to do, you got to get another bead. There. Okay, so those are our ingredients. That floor has claimed more stuff. Alright, so we're going to get rid of my little graphic of the kit. And we are going to, let's see, we're going to increase the size of my window here. Hopefully you don't see my, it comes out okay. I won't increase it that far. Alright. So, okay. There we go. Woo-hoo. Now we're going to turn your camera down. Alright, so. Whopper ploppers. Whopper ploppers. So, we are going to, see, we'll get that to where you can see that. So, this is our, another one going to purgatory. I saved it. Okay. So, we've got our hook. Now we're going to, now imagine this leader being attached to a rod. So, first thing you do, you want to put this, what I call a bullet weight, alright, on your line. First things first. Just put it on there. Now you're going to put the bead on it. So you can get a bead on things. Ha! Bead on things. Now we're going to put our snap swivel on it. Now I kind of do what's an improved cinch knot. I go through I go through it twice, and then I wind it up 5 or 6 times, and then pull it through for a cinch knot. And remember to wet it. Wet it, wet it, wet it, so you don't burn the line. So suck on it. So cinch it down. Alright, so this isn't attached to my rod, so everything fell off. So what you got here is this. And this is the beginnings of a Carolina rig. So that's that. So take the tag end off. Okay. So that is that. So I hope you guys can get a good look at that. Yeah. There it is. Pretty, huh? Looks like an earring, huh? But that is it. Now, the reason why we use this type of weight, not a split shot or anything, is that when the fish takes it, we can feel it. This is just going to slide up and down. So we can still feel any kind of bite that the fish has. So that's free flowing. And this actually will make a sound, like a little clicking sound. Can you hear that? So, and that helps attract fish too. That's why I put the bead on there. So now, all you got to do is take this. Now, you can make it longer. This is just what comes with it. So this is only about, I don't know, 10 inches. My guess is 10 inches. But if you make it 2 feet or something like that, you'll find that works out really good. Open your snap swivel. Open your snap swivel. Snap swivel. I hooked myself. The snap swivel's kind of stuck. Ay, 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 ay. There it goes. Alright. Snap swivel's open. There you go. And now you've got your hook. You've got your Carolina rig. Sliding weight on it. So now what you do is you take your dough, you have a nice liberal portion. You want to cover the entire hook with it. You want to cover, now probably a little bit more, but we're not in the water here, so. But now you want to use a small hook because you don't want it to weigh it down. So, smaller the hook, the better. And now what you're going to do is toss it in the water, and what's going to happen is that this will float up above this. When the trout takes it, whoop, you're going to feel it because that weight is now free. I mean, it's free and fancy free. And so if it takes it, you're going to feel it. But don't set the hook hard on a trout. You want to gently, sort of like a panfish. You just want to pull up on it when you feel like he's got it in his mouth. So this will be floating above here. Toot, 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 toot. He's going to come along, toot, 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 and nibble at it. Nibble, 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 till finally he's just going to grab it. And at that point, you're going to feel it. Pull on it. At that point, lift gently up on your rod and set that hook. Just set the hook. If you do that, this is a very simple way of catching a trout. And they will, to be honest, it'll work. This little simple, and if you want to play with the depth, this is only about, 10 inches, 12 inches. But if you want to play higher, go 2 feet on it, go ahead and do that. And but this little bit right here, this setup with what I call the bullet weight, the bead, and the snap swivel, this is very, 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 very important for you. So if you can sort of memorize that, and then you can play with the length of the hook, go small hook actually. That's kind of a big one, but you could go with a much smaller hook. Again, I love this kit. This kit has just about everything you could possibly want. Now, you could use a treble hook, but again, use a very, very small treble hook. So, this is a good trout hook, too. And, there it is. Big difference in hook sizes between the two. So you can see the difference. It's about half the size on that one. So again, the reason that we want, for one thing, trout, you could hook a trout with an extremely small hook. But the lighter the hook, the more likely that bait is going to float. And that's really what you want it to do. You want the weight on the bottom, and then you want the bait up on the top, is what you want. Now, you can play with this a little bit as you have it on the bottom of the lake or the river, and you could pull it. Now, another nice thing about a bullet weight is that it's tapered. And so you could pull it through grass and stuff like that, and it won't get snagged. And by doing this, what ends up happening, these are heavily scented. I don't know if you notice, it says garlic wildfire is what it says. And it's 5 times stronger. So what ends up happening is it leaves a trail, a scent trail behind it. And that attracts the trout. So you could put it down there and just sort of pull it. And then this will actually sort of have the Pied Piper effect and draw that trout to the hook. So it'll go ahead and grab it. So, but do it very slowly, very purposely. It's very finesse. You're in no rush because the fish will bite it. They will bite this. So go ahead and try this technique, with the bead, because the bead actually will make sounds. And use a torpedo weight, and use 1 foot to 2 feet of leader for a very, very small hook. If you do that and cover that hook completely, lots of dough, and just move it gently along the bottom of the river or the lake. If you do that, you will catch a trout, and you'll be surprised how big a trout that you get, because in our area we have big trout. And it's not just, you're going to get a lot more stuff besides trout. I mean, crappie are going to love it. Panfish are going to love it. But in the areas that we fish right now in Oregon, trout is going crazy. And it's a great tasting fish. I mean, why wouldn't you want to catch a trout? And they fight like a dickens. They love to roll on you. So once you get the trout on the line, do not keep them in the water. And keep them coming towards you. Do not let that trout have slack. Because if he jumps out of the water, he has slack. And he has a great chance of removing the hook from his mouth. If you keep him in the water, keep him down, and keep him coming towards you, have a net ready, and net him as soon as you get to him. I have learned, this last time around, how to net a trout, a big trout, on my kayak without using my hands. I know. Because whenever I did this, and I went to reach for my net and to scoop him up, a lot of times he'll roll on me and I lose him. especially big ones. So what I do is I have a big net, and I put it off the side of my kayak, and I have it planted there with my foot so it can't fall in the water. But it's just sort of half in, half out of the water. And so when I reel in that trout, I bring him around to the net, and I just lead him with my rod into the net. And I net him with my reel in. Without, so basically I got 3 hands. I had some girlfriends say that. Actually, they said I had 8. But anyway, another story. But nonetheless, if you're in a kayak, put that net half in, half out of the water and hold it down with your feet or something. If you do that, you don't have to release that reel with your hand to scoop them up. And it allows a much faster capture, and sometimes they fall off right at the boat. Well, if they do that, they're falling off into the net, which I had happen. And that is a great thing to happen. Just put them in the net, with the net already in the water. So try that little trick. I learned it just this week because I had some doozies get off my my hook right at my kayak, and it was very frustrating. And one was a personal best by far. It was huge, and I was so mad. And then it dawned on me after the second one I lost. I was like, I got this big giant net. Why don't I just put it in the water and just put them in the net on a reel in? And it worked. I didn't lose another fish, and I didn't get the beasts, but get them another day, maybe this week. So thank you very much. Please subscribe, share these videos. Again, use the Carolina rig method with a leader of your length, of your choice, 12 to 24 inches, and just let it sink, move it, and use this to catch your trout. And you'd be surprised, because we have trout at Lake of the Woods down at 30 feet. So we just drop this thing down, we just let it sit there. And we got some big ones down there. So thank you very much. You know where you're going to find me, right? That's right. Out on the water. I'll see you there. Thank you for subscribing and watching the video. And I hope you catch lots and lots of fish. None of us should be terrible at fishing. Not after that little pointer. Take care, everybody. Again, see you out on the water.